Jamie the Boogeyman Bauer.
Today we're joined with Sam Rivera. How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing well. How are you?
So Sam here is we're in an artist alley back at Wizard World Chicago. So Sam, tell us what are you here for?
I am here promoting my comic book Treasures of the Deep Slumber, something I've been working on for the last 10 years, building a world and civilization and all these characters with immense depth. It's a spiritual journey on a different dimension, like a planet in a different dimension. It's definitely a lot of work, but coming up with all these characters and different personalities, I've kind of been living two worlds, here on Earth and in Tarsus, which is the planet that the story takes place.
I'd just like to hear a little bit more about the story so that our viewers can be like, oh yeah, I've got to pick that up. And if you don't, you're a bad person.
Buy his book. He's a nice guy.
Thanks. Basically, we follow this 17-year-old kid named Brandon Connors. He's in a car accident hit by a drunk driver, and his entire consciousness is transported to another dimension. And it's this planet called Tarsus where he wakes up and sees these two pirate ships just duking it out, and is in complete awe. He doesn't understand if he's alive or if he's dead. And we follow his journey on Tarsus, where he's told that he is this potential traveler spoken about in a prophecy. That this person is supposed to collect 7 treasures of Tarsus, bring peace to the world, and defeat evil. Now, the antagonist in the story, his name is Captain Jameson DeVille. He's a bloodthirsty pirate who also believes that he's the traveler. But of course, gaining all 7 treasures, this is where he wants it all for power, not to save the world. People are like, maybe this is the person, but no, the real traveler is Brandon. We see him grow. Basically, each treasure is a different piece of armor. So you have the Sword of Strength, the Shield of Courage, the Crown of Wisdom, the Heart of Tarsus, which is the breastplate, and all these different treasures give him a different ability, but the underlying thing that the story is telling is the attributes of a person that we discover, these wonderful things like wisdom and strength and courage and humility through adversity. So we watch this young boy that's kind of a little bastard grow up, and we see him face several different types of trials to prove himself. And there's a lot of natural human emotion behind it, and that's a real heavy thing that I've been trying to put into this book and into the story is depth to the characters, and just having it to where no matter which one they are, if they're a bad guy, a good guy, the comic relief, that everyone can relate to them. It has a little bit of everything as far as science fiction elements, fantasy elements. We have these very interesting creatures called Macanans, and they're kind of like a sea creature, crustacean type person. One of them becomes Brandon's best friend and companion throughout this whole journey. There's so much, like I said, 10 years of the story. It's just so much to get all into one. And what's really interesting is that when I decided to start working on this book, the doors started flying open. As far as investors, as far as people believing in it, my current job, it's all because of this, and people are believing in it, which is really interesting, and there's not much that I've told a lot of people. So this is the first time I'm bringing it out to people, putting my artwork out there as well. And so far, the experience has been pretty awesome.
And that's fantastic. I like the way that you kind of brought up, things are kind of opening up just sort of out of nowhere. It sounds like there's a heavy spiritual bent to the story.
Yes.
And it sounds like there might even be a theological bent. Is that something that you dig? Is that something you're into?
Well,
just sort of spiritual expression?
Well, my dad actually is a pastor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of biblical influences, but at the same time,
it's not oversaturated, right?
No, it's more so just my experiences in life and the journey I've gone through since I was 17 to now, and I'm 28 now, so it's like the amount I've learned, the amount stuff I've been through, and adversity. I'm taking all those visceral, internal things that are very personal, and throwing all of that into this character, into each character, and hopefully what it does is it inspires young people and people my age. Yeah.
So if someone wanted to pick up the story, how can they get it?
Well, this is the first time I'm putting it out there, but it's just the preview book, so it's the first 5 pages. They can come here and get it, but I want to put it online as well, so people can get the preview book if they want to. It's at treasuresofthedeepslumber.com. I also have a Facebook /treasuresofthedeepslumber. But other than that, that's like the only place right now is here.
Just here.
Well, that's good because you're going to lose 2 copies right after
Right,
this.
awesome.
So
I'm
get
taking
them.
this.
Yeah,
Awesome.
we're going.
Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. So
Thank you so
Yeah.
much for taking
Yeah,
some time
thank
and
you.
talking to us.
I appreciate it. Definitely.
So anyway, this is Patman saying bag it.
Board it.
See you guys soon.
The DVM Podcast Empire. Yeah, we did that.